Hey, it's MiWilderness again. I just want to quickly demonstrate a couple different techniques for using the fire steel. There's basically a full strike method which will eventually wear down the center of your steel, like this one is getting worn in the center. And then there's another method which is somewhat of a finesse method, which will wear down the tip of your steel. I combine the two depending on the situation. For the finesse method, you're going to want a knife with a very flat, sharp back on it. The Turley knife works good. This is the Boone's Branch neck knife. It has a nice square back on it. And another good knife for the finesse method, or for striking a fire steel in general, is the Swiss Army knife saw blade, because it also has a very sharp, square edged back, and that's what you need for finessing it. And you'll just get better sparks in general if you have a nice square back. You can use the tip of your blade because that's nice and sharp, and you can finesse it as well that way. But I don't like using my actual blade. This is birch bark. It's beginning to rain, and I will show you the finesse method first. This is just a regular, the harder ferrocerium fire steel. That took a little longer than normal. It depends on the material you use as well. Birch bark works good, cotton balls work good, fatwood works good for the finesse method. And let's see, the only thing is, if you have a mish metal, the softer type of fire steel, it's kind of hard to finesse it, because with the softer mish metal, like this Coghlan's I got, you have to go pretty fast in order to get a spark. That's why I kind of prefer the harder ferrocerium rod, because you can go slow and still get a spark. But with the softer mish metal, you try to go slow and it just doesn't happen. You have to go pretty quick. So the mish metal is not a good one to use for finessing it. But if you have a regular ferrocerium rod, I'll use the Swiss Army knife this time, just to compare the two. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm kind of rusty at it. But it helps to use your thumb to kind of guide it. I'm going to switch back to the Boone's Branch. There we go. So it's just another method of striking the fire steel. I like using both methods depending on the material I'm striking. If I have a stubborn tinder, birch bark is not a stubborn tinder, but Well, it's generally not a stubborn tinder. It's being a little stubborn today from what I'm used to seeing. You can use, if you're having a little hard time with it, you can use this method where you place the steel hard onto a hard surface and get a full strike, and it will ignite quicker doing it that way, but you end up wearing down the center of your steel and you leave the end of it untouched if you do this method properly, because the idea with this method is to not squish your tinder. So when you strike using this method, generally I like to have my knife at an angle, so when I hit the board, my tinder is not getting squished. You should be able to see that in the video. See, like that. I can take a small piece of tinder and see I'm not hitting the tinder and squishing it. But if your steel starts getting really worn down in the middle, like this one is, and you have some good tinder, like fat wood, cotton balls, or birch bark, you can use the finesse method, which doesn't require you to rest it on anything, but it does take a little more patience to get it done. So there's two methods. The finesse method, which more or less works the tip of the fire steel like that, or the full stroke method, which gives you a nice big blaze but tends to put more wear on the center of the steel. I don't think one method is better than the other. I use them both depending on the situation. So there you go. Just make sure you have a knife with a nice square back for the finesse method, or use the tip, the very tip of your blade. SK Woodsman has a YouTube channel that shows what I call the finesse method, where you just strike using the tip of the steel, and IA Woodsman has a video or two that shows the full stroke method. That's it. Hope you enjoy it. Bye.